So today we're on Jaco Beach in Costa Rica. Jaco Beach is Costa Rica's most accessible coastal hub, you'd say. It's located about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from San Jose. Very famous beach area, nice, lively vibe, awesome nightlife. But very famous for its 2.5 mile stretch of volcanic black sand beach. You know, it's very popular among surfers because the tide tends to be high a lot of times, at least most of the year. But if you keep walking down, you will come to a more calmer, serene part of the beach, which is where we're headed to today. Again, it's 2.5 mile stretch of beach. So for us to find this, we had to walk down from our residence about a mile and a half, almost 2 miles down, and it was definitely worth it. Quite scenic, quite beautiful. The daytime, amazing. The sunrises in the morning are gorgeous. The sunsets in the evening, even more amazing. Pura Vida 26. So we just wanted to take a stroll, enjoy a little bit of this beach, catch some nice footage, some sun rays, and just get ready for the next day because we do have quite an adventure coming up tomorrow morning.
This is beautiful.
I'll see you then. Well, let me grab a beer first. So today we are going up to the Miro Ruins that overlooks Playa Jaco, Jaco Beach. The intention was to leave early, about 7 o'clock. That didn't happen. We left around 9:30. And of course, it's pretty warm. It is the jungle, it's the rainforest. So the high trees and lush vegetations will protect you from the sun's rays, but does nothing to protect you from the humidity. Here we go on our hike. And it is a beautiful, lush, very green, tropical landscape. It's said to be about 200, 300 feet to the first stop. I don't know. And I don't want to exaggerate because my knees might have me telling you it's way further than it really is. So let me just go by time. The entire hike is probably about 45 minutes. So we get up, we're headed up, the gang and I, and our first sight, the beautiful paintings on the wall, beautiful cultural artwork that I haven't had the opportunity to dive in to see the historical significance, but amazing on the eyes. We passed an Airbnb, bed and breakfast, you may say. I didn't have my cameras on yet. A lot of times I come and I try to film, but sometimes I get caught up in the magnificence of where I am and
No, it keeps going.
try to soak it in before hitting play. So this is the first part of some abandoned ruins of a mansion, right? That's along the hillside. We're going to go up. We're going to launch a drone and, get some sky views. We are overlooking Jaco Beach where we were yesterday. Nice, beautiful view from here. The ocean. It's always a lovely view where the ocean and nature meets. I think of Jaco as one of the few places in the world, one of three that I know of, including Jamaica and the Guanacaste side of Costa Rica, where the rivers and the ocean meet in such matrimony that they're just one. In a lot of places, the rivers are a ways from the ocean. In this case, matrimony. But again, a beautiful, beautiful hike. It's believed that the mansion we are heading up toward belonged to a wealthy man who died before the building could be completed. As you see, there's a lot of graffiti-esque artwork along the way that's merged with what looks like cultural artwork and paintings, but it's beautiful. It's an overcast day today, so that helps us again with the beating from the sun. For that, we're eternally grateful. We continue our walk. We're getting some drizzle, so we got to seek out some shelter. We are now at that abandoned mansion. and it was way further a walk than it seems here. I just sped the video up and cut out a lot of it, but it was an amazing hike. Again, quite scenic, quite picturesque, quite beautiful. Again, like I said, it's believed that the mansion may have belonged to a wealthy man who died before the building could be completed, and it now serves as an observation deck for curious hikers and travelers like myself. The incomplete building is 3 stories tall and composed of wide balconies, white pillars. It's pretty much a panoramic view almost. You know, from anywhere you're gonna have a nice ocean view, and for those places that you don't have a nice ocean view, you will have a spectacular view of the rainforest. All right, there are grand pillars, grand staircases, graffitis around. I'm pretty sure he didn't put this graffiti up, but whomever did it did a good job. It is tasteful. The artwork, pretty tasteful. So there are a couple of different viewpoints here, like the first one I mentioned, and then we have this one. I'm gonna guesstimate probably another 98 to 150 feet up. I know that's a wide gap, but again, my mind tells me one thing and my knees tell me another. But capturing some footage here of the interior. Something that my friends and I were talking about is that, the story is that the structure started in the late 1800s. I don't know how accurate that is. And if it is, there must have been some other work done afterwards, somebody else who have taken it over or so forth, because there are plumbing evidences that lead us to that seem more modern, that lead us to believe that that had to be, you know, maybe in the mid 1900s. There's electrical fixtures, or where electrical fixtures should be, that seem to be up to code. A lot of the designs here don't seem that old to me. But again, could be wrong, going after or off what was told to us. But what the eyes can see is a different thing. You see this amazing view of Jaco Beach, that lovely black sand, strip of hotels and luxury villas along the beach. It's beautiful, just overall beautiful, and more than anything else, very calming, peaceful, serene. You can hear the birds, you can hear the monkeys. Sometimes it's difficult to locate them. You're walking through, you're trying to spot a monkey, trying to spot a sloth or something, but they're not trying to be seen. So, you know, I'm not mad at them. Again, you see all the graffiti work, and it actually looks very, very pretty. I think it actually brings something to the structure. As I walk through and go through the rooms and the hallways, without those colors, that graffiti art popping, it would just be white or dingy white walls, which would probably add some, how would I say it, a little eeriness to the place. But the artwork makes it pop, gives it the modern touch that it needs to contrast with the so-called vintage structure. Again, not sure. I will continue to do the research to see how old exactly the structure is. But, from looking at where electrical outlets were going to be, looking quite up to code, and even the staircases. When I venture into buildings that are said to be from the 1800s, staircases don't seem to be as close to the staircases that we use now in terms of size, depth, length, and that's because we have codes now, not just in the United States, but in every country. And there's a modern feel to it, but it's quite a pleasant place to be, especially since the rain had come down a little bit, and it proved to be our refuge and shelter from the rain. But this overall was a great hike. So we're exploring this, and then it's time to head back down. Everybody's sweaty from the humidity. Got to big up little Gabby. She's just a trooper, and she makes the trek with us all the time. And here she is having a good time with us. Again, just combing through this structure here, Every time I go around, I see something I didn't see before in the artwork. I find another viewpoint that I didn't see before. Most of the viewpoints, again, directly to the ocean. It's just amazing. Look at these stairs, right? This is what I mean when I say they look pretty up to code, don't they? I'm not sure if these would be 1800s stairs, right? Some of the design features here are kind of common amongst Caribbean countries and stuff like that. So here we are, and we bid you a farewell from the beautiful abandoned mansion. But just going out here with this drone so you can get an idea of how far up we hiked. You see the first lookout point, you see up top, right? And this is our drone looking down on the beach. Didn't want to go too low because, again, have to respect privacy. Sometimes people are on the beach laying out and we don't want to be a creep, right? So we're just looking at the beautiful beach from a distance and the shoreline. And it is quite peaceful. At this point, it's about 10:45 a.m. So very little action down there on the beach, but beautiful. And again, overcast skies. Must be grateful because before we came, the app said that we were going to have 5 days of rain, right? It's the rainy time, which lends to the lush greenery, the flora, the fauna looking the way it does. But we got here and some great overcast skies, which took away from some of the expected heat. But we didn't have that much rain, so we're able to go out and do our tours. And again, come here to the Miro Ruins and have a good time. And we'll bring the drone back. Again, just to give you an idea of what it looks like from out there. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful adventure. We'll catch you all tomorrow. Pura vida. Hope you get a chance to check it out soon. Peace.